Resetting leptin is ultra critical, and it's one of the key first steps to attempting to reset your body's ability to heal itself. Again, no practitioner or person can ever heal you. Only your body can heal you of your own diseases or health problems. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Emanuela Urbani, and this video is going to be about the importance of resetting leptin, why you absolutely need to do it, and what does it mean. If you want help with resetting leptin and how to take it from not just resetting leptin and beginning sunrise, but how to take a step-by-step fashion with support, you're healing all the way to the finish line, then I highly recommend that you join us in Quantum Thrive because you're going to get all that plus much more. But on to this video on leptin. This is going to be a little more sciencey because I want to show you the why of resetting leptin and the what. What does it even mean to reset leptin? So I have a really short presentation, and then I promise I will simplify it a little bit. Okay. All right. Leptin really is the master hormone. And this is where I'm going to get into what is leptin and what does it mean to reset leptin. Okay. Leptin is controlled by your master clock. That's why timing and light always plays hand in hand to leptin. And the input comes in through the eye. Here's the SCN, which is your master clock in your brain. And this place where it says ARC, that's where your master leptin receptor is located. Leptin controls something called the HPA and HPG axes. That means all of your stress hormones, your pituitary gland. There's so much in there. And there's a lot of things that we like to think about as critical first steps that are actually downstream of leptin. That's ghrelin, which means your hunger. Are you hungry or are you satisfied? Insulin. I'm sure you all have heard of that. And cortisol. Did you know that cortisol is downstream of leptin? Did you know that leptin controls whether or not you're in fight or flight or rest and digest? I mean, that's crazy. And then there's adiponectin, which I'm not going to get into, but basically they play this nice dance that's really important. And because leptin is intricately connected to the light inputs and your clock, and it plays a critical role in all of your peripheral clocks. And everything in your body when it comes to regeneration and proper function is connected to whether or not your body knows what time it is. This sync that we see from this paper here is the reason why you need to reset leptin. Because if you don't sync your breakfast with your central clock, with your master leptin receptor, and then with the communication between peripheral leptin and your leptin receptor and the things that fall under that, like your circadian signaling molecules, then your body doesn't know what time it is. And if you're leptin resistant in any part of your body, you'll get a health problem there. And it really drives home the point that all these things are downstream of leptin. This is your signaling. You've got over 12 different circadian signaling molecules, and they need leptin to be sensitive. They need the leptin that's communicating to the master leptin receptor in your brain to work properly. And leptin signaling is also done via light. This wavelength of light that is stronger than the light that the sun sends out, meaning it's ultraviolet C light in that category, needs to communicate in order for that to happen. So if you are a woman watching this and you bleed a lot, I recommend that you watch the Dr. Cruz interview that I did, because we talked about how when you bleed excessively, you can automatically make yourself more leptin resistant because you lose these little things in your blood called porphyrins and you lose the blood itself, which needs to take in the ultraviolet A light from the sun and then needs to produce this different type of ultraviolet light that needs to communicate all over your body in order for you to be leptin sensitive. I hope that's making sense. And then this is the last slide. I promise. No more super sciencey stuff. This is my favorite drive home leptins to master. So you've got bone density issues. You need to reset leptin first. Immune issues, autoimmunity or poor immunity, whatever, you need to reset leptin first. Problems with appetite and reward, you need to improve your neuroplasticity. Maybe you're stuck in brain patterns. You got to reset leptin. Um, Thyroid problems, you got to reset leptin. Problems with cortisol and stress and fatigue, the common denominator that pretty much every single client I work with has fatigue. You need to reset leptin. Growth hormone that plays an important role in proper insulin function, proper liver function, leptin. All your sex hormones, estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, FSH, luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, men and women, DHEA, pregnenolone. This is all downstream of leptin. You want good sex hormones. You want to be, fertile. You want to have great sex function. Well, you need to be leptin sensitive. So I hope I explained to you what it means to be leptin sensitive. But if not, I'm going to go through it really briefly again. So you have a master leptin receptor in your brain. And then you have the communication in the rest of your body with that master receptor. It's not just in your fat cells. You have to make this light that your blood, these porphyrins in your blood, and you need to absorb the light. And then it needs to be communicated. And then because this complex communication, not just with leptin, but your circadian signaling, so whether or not everything is set to the right time, needs to be connected to your leptin sensitivity for you to actually achieve overall, sweeping benefits with your health. That's the what. And to reiterate the why of why you need to reset leptin, you can't actually regenerate, solve all your health problems, stop feeling so goddamn crappy and tired unless you reset leptin. You can't have good periods, good hormones, be fertile unless you reset leptin. You can't increase bone density. You can't resolve, autoimmune disease. You can't improve things like cancer if you don't reset leptin. It's kind of like, watching the sunrise. It's one of the big critical steps. Resetting leptin involves timing of food, the way you structure your meals, the gaps between your meals, the light, all being timed in a specific fashion. I am going to be releasing a mini course on leptin. And if you want to grab it at the promo price because it'll be $7, I'm going to outline in very detailed steps for those of you that really want to dumb down exactly what you need to do in micro steps in order to reset your leptin sensitivity and then what you can expect afterwards. Obviously, resetting leptin sensitivity is just one of the initial steps that you need to take. If you want to take your health down to the finish line, then, my recommendation would be to join us in Quantum Thrive. I hope that this helped you understand why leptin is so important and why you really want to reset leptin. Thank you so much for watching.